Hey guys, what is happening? Metal Viking here, and welcome back to another one of my anime audio vlogs. And with this video, we are going to continue with some of the news that dropped during Anime Expo. Now, I know I'm a bit late to the party with this, just like I was with the Chainsaw Man news. So yes, I know inserts, you're so slow jokes and haha and whatnot. But no, I didn't want to pass up on the opportunity to make this video because I did make a video about this back when the anime was first teased. I think I made it back in either 2021 or 2022, if I'm not mistaken. The video is titled "Hollow the Wise Wolf is Back" and whatnot. So. Go check that one out if you haven't already. But basically, it's that after a long period of silence, after that little teaser visual trailer was put out and then seemingly hidden from every corner of YouTube, bar being on one or two obscure anime trailer channels. I was worried that maybe this project got cancelled, but we finally got the good news the other day that Spice and Wolf is returning with a brand new anime adaptation. It's going to be airing in 2024, and not only that, but the original Japanese cast from the 2008-2009 anime adaptation is returning to reprise. They are returning to reprise their roles. So yeah, that's pretty dope, and it looks like it's going to be handled by Studio Passione, which for those of you who don't know, they handled the 4th season of High School DD, which of course I wasn't too much of a fan of, purely because not because Studio Passione do a lot of ecchi stuff. It's High School DD is an ecchi series already. I just wasn't a fan of the change to the art style and having it go from having quite a serious looking art style and a mature looking art style to having this very like blobby kind of cutesy art style. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. And then of course they did Miyurko-chan, which I was a fan of. I actually did enjoy Miyurko-chan because funnily enough their character models that they designed for the anime adaptation look pretty similar to that of the manga, so I guess the shoe fit in that case. But in the case of this reboot for Spice and Wolf, now I must preface this that I am a huge fan of the original anime. I do love the character designs and the atmosphere, aesthetic, and score, and the pacing and whatnot of the original. I am a huge fan of the original. I actually have both seasons on DVD box set. I own most of the light novel series on my shelf. And I even have a hollow figure from Good Smile Company. I've got the Plentiful Harvest figure on my shelf. But I'm just a huge Spice and Wolf fan. It's one of my top favorite anime and manga of all time. It's only second to Berserk. Berserk is like my number one favorite, and then Spice and Wolf is my second. It's an incredible series, and so I guess before we go any further with the video, I just want to encourage all of you watching this to subscribe to my channel and to hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Drop a like if you enjoy the video, share the video around, drop a comment and whatnot, sharing your thoughts. It really helps with the algorithm in helping to grow the channel. Not only that, I do encourage you all to go and check out my main channel, Metal Viking, because on that channel that's where you get a lot of the more high production quality content, with a lot more editing and resources and all that sort of stuff. And you'll be able to check out my series such as Let's Construct a Concept Album, Metalhead Reviews Anime Songs, my podcast series The Metal Cast, featuring fellow AniTuber Foodnum as a co-host, and then you will also have access to a a lot of just general music and anime related content. You can also follow me on all my social media links down below in the description box, so follow me on all of those. And then of course, if you really want to support the channel, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you really want to support the channel, make sure you go and head on over to my Patreon page. It costs only $1 a month, and over there you will have access to exclusive behind the scenes content when it comes to making the videos. You will have access to videos that get struck by YouTube for copyright reasons and can now only be viewed there. And not only that, but you will also gain exclusive access to teasers for my upcoming manga project, which I am working on with fellow South African artist Dean Brawson. I can't give away too much details about the project right now, other than all I can say is if you are a fan of Berserk, the case study of Vanitas, Guillermo del Toro's The Strain, Robert E. Howard's Solomon Kane, and anything from H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. If you are a fan of any of that stuff, make sure you go and head on over and check it out if that just piques your interest. And with all the plugs and everything out of the way, let's carry on with the video. So basically, back in late 2021, early 2022, somewhere around there was a teaser trailer, but like a teaser visual trailer, you know, like a motion graphics trailer or whatnot, that teased that there was a new Spice and Wolf anime project in the works. This was of course tweeted out by the creator and author of Spice and Wolf, Isuna Hasakura. It was teased and everything like that, but then I believe within a few weeks to a month or so later, the trailer was completely, you know, hidden and whatnot, and the only place where you could see it was on some of these, you know, these little small obscure anime trailer channels or whatnot, who had downloaded the trailer from the official channel and had just been reposting it and everything like that to kind of keep everyone in the loop that, hey, this news is still fairly relevant and what have you. And then you know, after the trailer disappeared off the channel it was originally uploaded to, things were quiet for a while. You know, Isakura, I keep blending his first and last name together, sorry. Hasakura, my bad. Hasakura was quiet for quite a while, and he didn't really post anything hinting at the new project or anything like that. He was just dead quiet on it. He was just making his normal posts as he usually does, and promoting other stuff like, you know, new figures that have been approved and all that kind of things, and all new volumes of Wolf and Parchment, which is the sequel series to Spice and Wolf. So he was doing all of that, but nothing about the anime. And it's had a lot of people, including myself, very worried that maybe this project had run into development hell, and that we weren't going to see a return of the series, you know. And also when the teaser dropped, it was pretty vague, you know. It wasn't really telling us whether it was going to be a continuation of the original anime, or whether like a season 3, or whether it was going to be a reboot. Fast forward to the 29th of July 2023, at Anime Expo, we finally get a trailer, an official trailer for this new anime, which is a complete reboot, a complete remake of the original anime, and of course, you know, new character designs, a new look, and it's going to be handled by Studio Passione, which once again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, they handled season 4 of High School DD, and of course Miyoko-chan. I know a lot of people don't particularly enjoy a lot of their anime because you know, a lot of Western audiences, instead of just accepting anime for what it is, they tend to harp on Twitter and whatnot about how virtuous they are for, ooh, I don't like ecchi shows, I don't like fan service, blah 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 blah, you know, to try and score brownie points with their peers or just the general public and whatnot. but I mean, it's understandable, to each their own. Fan service can be annoying at the best of times if it's not used appropriately, or anything like that. So I do understand the concerns of some people who are already bashing this adaptation before it's even aired, complaining about it and whatnot, saying, oh my gosh, Hollow is going to be completely sexualized and whatnot, even though, let's be realistic here, Hollow being in the nude was already something sexual. Even if the poses weren't sexual, they are sensual poses, if anything, and a lot less sexual, but it doesn't matter either way. It's still fan service either way. So I don't know how there's this strange line being drawn here and there with some people, but whatever. That's a whole different can of worms to open up and get into. But essentially, at the end of the day, it's been a long time since any news came out, and now we finally get a new trailer and everything like that. So now, me personally looking at it, I think it looks very good. Of course, I'm a little disappointed that they are going with the more moe art style of the light novels, because as much as I love Spice and Wolf and I love the characters and the overall story and whatnot, I will admit that I'm not too fond of the artwork in the light novels, and it's not because I don't think that the illustrator who works on them isn't a good illustrator. That's not it at all. It's just there seems to be this strange contrast between something that's set in an actual historical time period and is tied to European or folklore and everything like that, which usually when you watch anything, not just in anime, but you watch in just media in general, anything set in medieval Europe, it tends to have a more how would you word, a bit more grit to it and everything like that, which I guess the original anime did have, because the original anime, the character models, Hollow and all the other characters, they had a much more mature look about them, mainly because the character designs had more angular features and everything like that. So there weren't exactly these round moe influenced kind of things. It was almost like they took the source material, took the spirit of and the essence of what made the story appealing, and turned it into visual form. Gave it an actual tangible visual voice, if you will, and captured that whole essence of it through atmosphere, lighting, aesthetic, music, voice acting, pacing, all this kind of stuff in the original. And then now, of course, you fast forward to now, where the big trend with anime fans now is the more cute the characters look, the better. And with Studio Passione, when I saw this trailer, like as I said, if you go back and you watch that original video I made when the news was first announced, with that teaser trailer, when I first saw that, I was very concerned that they were going to do what they've done here and go to the art style of the light novels. But after seeing it in motion, and the fact that the director of the original anime, Takeo Takahashi, the fact that he is going to be on this project as well as chief director on the project and everything like that, the thing that gives me faith in it is the fact that after having seen it animated and in motion and everything like that, I think all the doubts that I had at the time, any reservations I had at the time, have all but been erased. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be wonderful, and it's going to once again, just like with the original anime, it is going to capture what makes the story so appealing and translate it beautifully into visual form. So yes, some of the colors are a little bit brighter in some instances, especially with like the nighttime scenes and certain other elements, but overall it still looks great, as long as we get some of those nice scenes of lighting, like atmospheric lighting, like we had when Hollow and Lawrence are like when they're at the inn and then they're sharing some ale together and whatnot. As long as we have like those type of moments where they can get really creative and atmospheric with the lighting and everything like that, then I'm all down for whatever it is they are going to do here. And as far as the fan service elements, I mean, yeah, sure, I can see how it would be distracting considering it's Studio Passione. I can understand how it can become a distracting element, but I don't think they're going to do that with the original with the director of the original anime being on board with the project. I think if they do incorporate any fan service, it's going to be rather mild and done only in where it's appropriate and whatnot. I don't think they're going to pull a fire force on us, you know, and have like, oh no, naked women everywhere, oh gosh, what are we gonna do? You know, I don't think they're going to do anything like that, and I don't think they're going to do like what they did with Mirko-chan, where, you know, you're supposed to be focusing on these ghoulish looking ghosts, but instead you just see these you know, borderline ecchi shots of Mirko-chan's of Miko's ass and whatnot, so whenever she's bent over or something like that. But I don't think we're going to see that at all with this, and if we do, you know, it's like, oh well, I mean, she's a wolf goddess, you know, it's and she's naturally naked all the time, you know, whatever. I think they're just going to play that up a little bit and whatnot to make it as a thing to see how Lawrence sees her and whatnot as a love interest and everything like that, and how he gets attracted to her. I think that's just probably how they will handle it. But fan service and whatnot elements aside, like as I said, I was concerned about the character designs being a bit more on the cutesy side, but having now seen the trailer animated and seen how a bit more of a more moe influenced art style works in animation for, you know, this story and what it is, and after having seen Hollow depicted as such on the books for like over a decade now, I'm completely fine with it. I'm totally on board with this. I think the other cool piece of news that comes with this is the fact that they are getting Kevin Penkin, who some of you might know as the guy who did the score for series such as Made in Abyss, Rising of the Shield Hero, and Tower of God. You know, he did those scores. I think he's going to do a fantastic job with this one, because Spice and Wolf is like Made in Abyss, where it's got all those slow atmospheric moments and whatnot, and I think Kevin Penkin's going to have a lot more room to do like what he did with Made in Abyss, where he's going to be able to compose some very iconic tracks that are unforgettable, as opposed to, you know, having to compose generic action tracks and whatnot like he did with Tower of God and Rising of the Shield Hero, which of course I can't even remember a single score track from those, because that's just how forgettable what he had to compose for those series are. Not because it's his fault or because he's not a talented composer, it's just often, you know, if you got a series where there's no moment for breathing and for settling down and having a bit of like chill and slow time in between all the crazy chaos of the action and stuff in the story and whatnot, and you know, it belongs to a certain type of genre of show or story, it can take even it can even bog down the talents of the most accomplished musicians and make their music seem subpar. But you know, since this show will probably have the same you know, amount of visual pacing and splendor that Made in Abyss had, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that Kevin Penkin's going to compose a fantastic score. And I mean, even the music that was teased here in the preview, you know, it already sounds good. It's giving me a lot of you know, like the same type of vibes that you get from artists like Celtic Woman or whatnot, and I'm pretty excited about that. The only thing that will throw me for a curveball, and would definitely applaud Kevin for doing as a risk element, if you will, is if he decided like, yo, I'm going to throw in some atmospheric black metal in the vein of an artist like, say, Medanera or Eldamar, and have like, you know, like this folk theme, but with this distorted black metal guitars, and the black metal screams sounding like a chill wind, like howling through the forest, like you know, that would be cool if he took that risk, but I highly doubt it. I don't think that will ever happen in especially in something like Spice and Wolf, you know. So it would be cool, but I highly doubt he's going to do that. Highly doubt it. So needless to say, I'm super excited for this. You know, it's going to be fantastic. I'm just really on board with this reboot, and I hope that they will adapt the whole series, and I am going to spoil the ending of Spice and Wolf here, so skip to you know, ahead if you don't want to hear it. But I really do hope that they adapt all of the once again, light novels. I hope they adapt all of the light novels right from number 1 all the way through to where Lawrence and Hollow get married and have their child, you know, who is then the protagonist of Wolf and Parchment in the sequel story. I hope they cover all of it, and because you know, the thing that makes Spice and Wolf so special as a fantasy is, instead of going for the whole sword and sorcery action type of approach, it goes for a more grounded historical kind of approach, where you get to experience the medieval world through a more common profession, you know, like being a merchant and everything like that. And I know a lot of anime-tubers and anime fans who try to sell people on Spice and Wolf will lead with the tag of, this anime is about economics. No, it's not about economics. Economics is just a backdrop for it. It's predominantly a romance story, and a very good one at that. So if you want to get more people into watching this anime, just tell people it's a romance. Don't come with it's about economics. The economics elements is if you're a history nerd like me, you really like history, and that's just the cherry on top, you know. Like, it's the same if you want to sell people on Victorian romance, Emma, don't say it's a historical a story about the lifestyle of Victorian people. You know, you don't start it off with that. You say it's a romance story, and that's how you get people interested in it. So my little bit of advice to all the other anime-tubers out there. So yeah, it's great that we're getting this adaptation. The only other thing that I do hope for is I really hope that the what do you call it, the English dub cast, the original English dub cast from the original anime, I hope they make a return, because the voice actress who plays Hollow, cannot remember her name right now, but she was perfect as the voice of Hollow, and she is the voice that I tend to imagine, you know, with her character speaking, as opposed to the Japanese voice actress. And not because the Japanese voice actress isn't good at her job, it's just, you know, if you've got a story like this which is so enriched by actual European history and culture and folklore, you know, it doesn't make sense, at least to me, to have these characters in a Germanic region of Europe talking, you know, in Japanese, you know, no matter how good their performances may be, you know. The all I can say is this much: the dub cast in the original Spice and Wolf anime, they at least gave a shit about the story. They were well cast, it was well directed from like a performance point of view, and they gave off some of the best performances I've ever heard in an English dub. And mind you, this is coming from someone who doesn't watch English dubs often and watches predominantly in sub. So if someone who watches sub a lot tells you that a dub is good, then you have to check it out. So yeah, so all I can say to you guys who are watching this video, before this new anime comes out, make sure you do yourself a favor, go back and watch the original anime, give it a shot, see if it's will be up your alley or not. And yeah, it's I think it's going to be a great one, and I think it definitely deserves all the support that it should get upon its release, especially for those of you who are maybe new to you know, anime and whatnot, and haven't yet experienced some older titles, pre-Sword Art Online, pre-Attack on Titan era yet. So make sure you go and watch the original. And with all that being said, that concludes this video, guys. So I guess the only question I have left to ask you is, are you excited for this adaptation? Are you looking forward to watching it? Will you be watching it? What are some things that you want to see about it? Do you have any concerns about the studio handling it, or what are your thoughts on the character designs? Anything at all, let me know in the comments down below. I look forward to hearing your opinions on the matter and discussing it with you all. Then of course, guys, once again, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, like, share, all that cool stuff. Make sure you go and check out my main channel as well, Metal Viking. Subscribe to that channel as well. Also follow me on social media, links are in the description. And if you can, and if you want to, check out my Patreon. Only costs $1 a month and you'll get exclusive content over there. And yeah, that concludes this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Metal Viking, and until the next episode, take care of yourselves, and as always, have a kick-ass day. Cheers.